really, what can Congress do at this point to force her hand on this issue? I know that she released just, what, 55,000 printed out pages of her emails. Why couldn't she just have forwarded those? Or, you know, you could get a thumb drive for a few bucks at Staples, and she could have handed that over. Why? What can they do, and why did she turn them over like that?
Well, I mean, we can only speculate because she still hasn't told the American people what's going on. You know, my organization is trying to get all of the emails that were held. Her as the email custodian for the State Department. We've filed a FOIA request. And then also, since it is a private email server and under the archive record, the only person that can enforce that law is Attorney General, I think up to this minute, Holder,
yeah.
who could go after it. But, you know, we fully expect Attorney General Holder, once he's done being Attorney General, to become a senior advisor to a possible presidential campaign by the former Secretary of the State.
Yeah, well, and the fact that they're not, I mean, it's not like you can put something into a search bar and search through her emails. Someone's going to have to go over, like through themselves by hand, every single one of these pages. And I think the important distinction for those watching too is these aren't 55,000 emails, these are 55,000 pages. I suspect, and Matt, I think you would probably agree, that this is just kind of a drop in the bucket perhaps of what she actually has on that server. She's just not willing to share the rest of it.
Right, and the real question is that since she has complete control and can vet anything that comes off of that server before she turns it over to the State Department, then the State Department will take another cut to make sure it doesn't address national security or otherwise privileged or confidential communications. You know, we may never get to a final knowledge of the interactions. And, you know, my group in our investigation is really focused on the interplay between the Clinton Foundation, the State Department, and then, you know, again, the Clinton Foundation, where all these things, people appear to be moving in and out, and many of them communicating not on official systems, but on private email systems, which, you know, may be and probably is a violation of the United States Code.
Well, and as Secretary of State, and maybe perhaps you can clarify the law for me on this, but it doesn't seem to be legal in her position as Secretary of State to be receiving from foreign governments donations for her Clinton Foundation while she's serving in that capacity. And I think, you know, really, I think it really is a good, genuine, legitimate question to say, well, was this private email address used to solicit these funds?
Yeah, and that's one of the prime questions that we're trying to get to the bottom of, is whether or not, while Secretary Clinton was Secretary of the State, whether her or others that are now either at the Clinton Foundation or at the beginning of this presidential campaign solicited or otherwise interacted with foreign countries or foreign leaders on behalf of her and her husband's and her daughter's foundation to obtain and receive donations, which we understand are almost $250 million have been received since she left the Secretary of State's office.
Wow, that's a lot of money for this.